So Rich Dad Poor Dad is a book basically all about the life of Robert Kiyosaki, who grew up in Hawaii with a poor dad, but he had basically an adoptive rich dad and got to see both sides, both point of views of the world basically through the eyes of someone like his father, who was highly educated with a PhD that was struggling to pay the bills every week or every month, I guess, and his friend's dad, which ended up becoming later on in life one of the most wealthiest men in Hawaii. And he kind of was able to learn from both and their situations and take what was meaningful from his childhood and kind of wrapped it all up into this book years later. So let's kind of get into the childhood of Robert. He actually grew up, I guess, in the poorer side of Hawaii, or at least in his area, for what it sounded like. And surprisingly, just because of how the school district was drawn out, he was able to go to the more rich public school, and where the families were a lot better off and wealthy just because of a little jot in the school structure or the school districts. He just happened to get in those other schools, and at a young age he realized that he was kind of I guess not a I about said recluse, not necessarily a recluse, but he was secluded from the other kids because he did not have all the amenities these other children did that came from wealthy families. And one day when he got upset about it, he actually came home and asked his dad, "How do I become rich?" And the best thing that his dad could tell him at the time was to make money. And so his friend and him decided to save up all of these empty tubes of toothpaste, which at the time were made of lead. And about 2 weeks later, his dad came home finding those two smelting the metal, trying to create fake nickels. And that's when he found out that making false money was illegal. And it was at that same time that his dad recommended that he go to Mike's father, because he's a businessman and he has several businesses and companies, and ask him how to make money and how to become rich. So he did. And because of that, let's just say that's Mike's dad became Robert's rich dad throughout the story. And one of the main reasons that he took up the offer of teaching these two 9-year-old boys how to become wealthy was basically because they were the first people to ever ask him. He told them as children that out of my 100 and so employees, you were the first people to ever ask me how to make money. So he decided to take them up on that offer and kind of actually, I guess, assist in answering that question, and wanted to teach them the lessons of making money and to think like the rich. And there's multiple books that I want to read after this, but he basically breaks it down certain times almost into a mindset, is how you even look at the world, in the sense of when he asked his dad if they could get something, depending on what it is, maybe a toy or something when he was a kid, his father would tell him, "I can't afford that." And his rich dad, on the other hand, would say, "How can I afford that?" Making it not a statement, but a question, and allowing your mind to still wander and try to find an answer to that question and become more, I guess, fluid and trying to come up with money-making ideas and stuff like that. So we'll kind of get into this. I guess that was like the baseline for how he got started with it. But as he a child, he actually started to work for Mike's dad at 10 cents an hour.